Some
extremely sad news today, just because it's just another blow to holistic and integrity-backed journalism. Project Veritas released a statement on why James O Keefe was removed from the company, from the Daily Wire. Project Veritas Board of Directors released a statement Monday evening explaining their reasons for removing Project Veritas founder and the CEO, James O Keefe, from the company. The statement came after O'Keefe released a 45-minute video Monday afternoon saying that he was not sure why he was being removed from the company, and that the only thing that had changed in recent weeks was the release of the company's undercover sting videos showing an alleged Pfizer employee making claims about things that were reportedly happening inside the pharmaceutical company. And many people thought that the original video was his reading his resignation letter. He, in fact, has made a statement he is still with the company. He is just stepping down from his CEO responsibilities, or being made to step down from his CEO responsibilities, I should say. The board of directors said in a statement that the company made numerous attempts in the last 14 days to have a conversation with James, but he ignored our outreach and decided to instead leak private information to others, either by doing so himself or by proxy. We had a board meeting scheduled for tomorrow where James was invited, and there was also a board meeting on Friday, February 10th, where James was invited but did not attend, to discuss the financial malfeasance that was discovered, which requires us to act in order to remain in compliance with the law, the statement said. There were two subjects that the board wished to come to terms with James on: the company's long-term sustainability based on staff retention and morale, and the company's financial health, which has been a serious concern for several months now. The company said that its leadership has not finished its investigation into O'Keefe's alleged spending of donors' money over the last several years, but that an initial review revealed that James has spent an excessive amount of donor funds in the last 3 years on personal luxuries. The statement said that O'Keefe was suspended indefinitely pending the resolution of a fulsome investigation and clarity which will need to be provided by a third-party investigative audit report. Now, apparently, some of the things that O'Keefe has allegedly spent this money on: $14,000 on a charter flight to meet someone to fix his boat under the guise of meeting with a donor, $60,000 in losses by putting together dance events such as Project Veritas Experience, over $150K in black cars in the last 18 months. Does that mean he's just bought like 3 black cars? They should probably go into more detail with that. Thousands of dollars spent on DJ and other equipment for personal use. Hundreds of other acts of personal inurement. The statement said that the board of directors wants to work out the situation with O'Keefe, but that he left us no choice but to suspend him in the last few weeks when he unilaterally fired the CFO, who can only be fired with board approval. That is a violation of our non-profit bylaws. James went as far to say that a board member had approved this firing to others, but it was later discovered that it was not the case. That member did not approve the firing. The board approved James' suspension so that it would have time to properly investigate these internal infractions. The statement continued. The board has a legal obligation to comply with state and federal law, and these matters are serious ones that cannot be ignored. James claims that the board did not allow him to send an apology letter to the staff, which is not true. The board never told James he was not to speak with staff members, nor that he could not apologize to them. The statement added, even with all of this public fallout, the board still wants to speak with James. We did not fire him, nor do we want him to resign. We would like to continue conversations with James to resolve internal matters, rather than litigate them publicly. Which I did think is kind of curious, right? Because it seemed the way that the public took this on was that he was fired. I mean, multiple tweets had stated, whether it's like from Benny Johnson or Poso, which I don't know if Jack Posobiec said this, but many of the Twitter accounts that I follow that lean right or in that right sphere, the right wing space, who follow this kind of stuff, had all alluded to the fact that this was the resignation letter. And I saw actually a couple hours ago, upon reading the news waking up, that it was actually, he was not resigning. He was just stepping down from responsibilities. I think I could just pull it up for you right now. I think they took like almost like 150K Twitter follower loss. Project Veritas did. Yeah. The Project Veritas right now is sitting at 1.2, all the way down from close to 1.5. Yeah, you can see this on February 8th of this year, sitting at 1.49, essentially 1.5. And as of the last 2 days, you see these big fat numbers here. They lost 60 more today. They lost 200,000 yesterday. That's live right now, 1.2. Yeah, 1.2. It's dropping still as more people probably get the information here. So Keefe's went from 1.1 from the February 8th to he's now sitting at 1.3. Seemingly absorbed all of the people who left Project Veritas. Not like you want to see Project Veritas that's produced so much, keep bumping that, that's produced so much good work here in the last, couple years, specifically with COVID. I mean, that's not an organization you want to see be having internal problems, at least not to this degree, that they're essentially getting the public of forgive me, especially because they're getting the court of public opinion, turned on this. And now everyone seems to have an opinion. The situation's gone viral, especially with the multiple leaks of the videos, Veritas on Veritas action. It sucks. I hope they can get that figured out. I hope we get more of an answer on like what the reason was that they're so fired up about James O Keefe spending money. I mean, if those allegations are true and he's just blowing donors' money like that, I think, yeah, then get him a hand there so people can take better care of stuff like that. Because obviously, just because you're James O Keefe doesn't mean you couldn't be spending people's money just wishy-washy with no real plan in mind, especially if the company's having financial issues. And multiple people have turned that company into jobs, and they're actually actively participating in the mission of what you want to be going on. You can't simply tell those people just to F off, especially after taking their money for one thing and then using it for a whole other purpose. I'd be curious to see how many of these donors are happy to see that their money was spent on those things, if that was true. And would you be willing to look those donors in the eyes if the allegations are true that you did spend that money? Because as much as I believe James O Keefe is that company and he's everything that makes it run in terms of its charismatic front half, its front facing end, then I think you need to be up front and be honest. But again, that there's such a lack of that in this country. So I guess I'll take the good work when I can. Anyways, peace.